Hey there everybody, how's it going? Nice to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. So 2 nights ago, I spent the evening hanging out with Michael Kenna. That sounds great, doesn't it? It wasn't just me and Michael, shooting the breeze. There were 50 other people there too. So, but see, spin is everything, isn't it? It was a really great time. He's an extremely nice guy. He's very gracious. He really doesn't have any secrets. He tells you exactly where he went. He tells you he really has a lot of patience. He'll tell you, any question you have, he'll answer. He answered a few questions that I had that I've had for years. Let's start with that. So, and I promise you, this is about digital photography, okay? And because this is all part of like my newest thinking on it, all right? So with somebody on one of the forums, Photrio or Large Format Photographer, one of those forums, said with authority that all of Michael Kenna's limited edition silver-based prints were on resin-coated paper. And I was like, really? But that's the only information I'd ever seen. And this guy was, a well-respected member of that forum. And I mean, it wasn't a DP review, it was like one of the silver-based film photography forums. So I figured, well, maybe there's some credibility there. I mean, it's the internet, it has to be true, right? So, but that's all I had to go on. And for years this is like a couple of years, I've been searching, like, does Michael Kenna really use resin-coated paper? And the first question I asked him when I got a chance to speak with him is, and I even put it in a way that was kind of, I said, hey, Mr. Kenna, I said, and he said, please call me Michael. A really nice guy. And I said, so on the internet, so it has to be true, somebody on a forum said with authority that all your limited edition prints are printed on resin-coated paper. He stopped me immediately. And he started laughing. And he said, no, he said, it's all fiber-based. He said it in such a way that like I would never print my limited edition prints on resin-coated paper. I got and he made a joke out of it. I got a chuckle out of that. So I got to see 32 of Michael Kenna's original prints hanging on the wall in the gallery. And they were fantastic. They were really, really beautiful. I look at a lot of prints, right? And I print my own digital prints. I've printed my own darkroom prints. I've had gallery shows of my silver-based, fiber-based darkroom prints. All right, so I know what I'm looking at, and I know what, Is film photography really better than digital? And, in a lot of ways, the answer is no. For me, the different concepts have different priorities, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, for me, it's like my goal has always been, because I've had gallery shows in the past, my goal has always been to make work that is gallery worthy, okay? And I still have that prejudice against digital prints and digital photography, but mostly digital prints, right? I guess with my old way of thinking, if you took a digital file and were able to project it it wouldn't be an enlarger, it would be a projector onto silver-based paper, and then print. Is that better? And the answer is no, but I don't think so. But there's issues, okay? A silver-based print is handmade in the darkroom by the photographer. A digital print is made by a machine, a Canon Pro 1000 in my case. So I guess that's a pro on the side of the darkroom output. Film-based, silver-based. But the best paper that you can buy today, or the gold standard, I think most people would agree, and what all of Michael Kenna's prints are printed on, is Ilford multigrade fiber-based paper. And that is a wood pulp-based paper, okay? And I find it interesting, and I've always wondered about this, because this is what Ansel did. We're taking wood pulp-based papers with an emulsion in them on fiber-based, not on them. The distinction, but that's the distinction between RC and fiber-based. And we're taking wood pulp-based papers and we're dry mounting them to 100% cotton rag museum board, because cotton is the standard for archivability of materials. Okay, we're not going to see. I seriously doubt that we're ever going to see a cotton-based archival silver emulsion paper, okay? Because all the research and development and all the rest of it is going into digital products. So, I mean, you can get hemp and you can get bamboo and there's a few others. But the industry standard, I think, for archival museum quality prints in the digital age is the Hahnemühle Photo Rag Burita, or like Moab's and Trada. I don't use it, but I've seen a lot of, with the research that I've been doing, Canson makes a platine rag. And these are all cotton-based. Well, the hemp isn't, obviously, and the bamboo isn't, but they're not. They're just kind of boutique papers. The industry standard for archivability for digital prints is the cotton rag, 100% cotton rag. So it's made out of cotton, not wood pulp. So that's a plus on the digital side. But really what it comes down to, after looking at Michael Kenna's 8 by 8, 8-inch by 8-inch prints, that was the majority of them, and there were 4 15 by 15-inch prints. From a quality standpoint, and no offense to Michael Kenna, but in general, and I see this with my own work too. You know, the silver-based papers and the silver-based prints, they do have a little bit of an extra glow to them. I get that, and they do have a slight edge in tonality, inherent tonality. Having said that, the digital prints from an APS-C Fuji, okay, are technically better. All right, the resolution, lack of grain. You can add grain if you want. Sharpness, which may be resolution. You know, if they're done really well, or printed properly or whatever. You know, printed at the highest. But if they're printed by somebody who knows what they're doing. Because, looking at Michael Kenna's work, I mean, that's the best of the best of the best, right? I mean, should be. And he's lauded as a master printer. He was Ruth Bernhardt's printer, okay? And so, and yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. That is some really great black and white darkroom work. There's no question about it. But when I look at it in its entirety, and I mean, that's as good as it gets, right? But when I looked at his work, I mean, if I want to be 100% objective and honest about it, and I'm not putting that work down, that work's, seriously, that's not where I'm coming from here. I mean, that work is spectacular as work. But if I have to be honest, it's like digital output is better, can be better, All right, know where I'm coming from here. I'm not trying to put him down. I'm trying to say it's made me, seeing his work has made me reevaluate my personal bias against digital printing. Okay. And so doing a little bit more research, if the ultimate goal of the print is to hang on a gallery wall or be museum grade quality, which that's what this whole conversation is about here, I think that's the ultimate goal of photography. Not for everyone, right? But if somebody picks up a camera and says, oh, I want to take pictures, how far can I take this? Okay, how far up the ladder can I go? Well, you know, obviously having a gallery show and having people drive 5 hours to come see it, and people spending the least expensive print on the wall of the 32 prints was $3,000. And that was the price of most of them. The big ones were 10 grand. All right, the 15 by 15s. And as Michael Ken has a pricing structure, as the prints sell, the higher the print number gets, the more expensive they get. So if you get up into the 40s, like the last 4 jump $1,000 each time one sells. So there were prints, there were 7.5 by 7.5 prints that were selling for $6,000. Okay, and you know. Am I saying that everybody has to photograph for that to get to that level? No, I'm not saying that. I mean, if you take photographs of your dog or your cat, which I do, and I hang them on the wall, those are my most prized possessions because they're photographs of, you know, things in my life that are meaningful to me, and those are my most important photographs. Okay, so I'm not saying that. You know, wouldn't it be cool to have a gallery show that people will drive 5 hours to come see of my fur family over the years, right? I mean, that would be like, so you get the point that I'm trying to make here. I hope. I'm not sure I do. But so is film really better than digital? And, you know, for that ultimate goal, the highest level you can climb up the ladder, it turns out that from the research that I've done, that to get, you know, gallery shows, there are people having gallery shows with digital work, inkjet archive. I mean, it needs to be inkjet, it needs to be pigment-based, archival on, you know, archival paper, that kind of a thing. And I understand that. But yeah, that is as accepted in the art world as is the silver-based print made in the darkroom. It turns out from the, now remember, I don't live anywhere near a big city, okay? So I haven't been to the Michael Kenna's show is the first show that I've been to, the first gallery representation of photography that I've seen since 1997. I used to hang out in a gallery that represented my work, so I got to meet Galen Rowell and a few other photographers, Ray Carafano. There was another guy that did portraits of African children. He was a dentist from Seattle. I forget his name. Anyway, you know, I've seen a lot of gallery shows back when it was all silver-based, but it turns out that if I went to New York right now or San Francisco or some of these artsy big cities, there are photography, you know, digital archival prints are as represented as silver-based. There are some collectors that still only collect silver-based prints, but you know, in general, what it really comes, I mean, if Michael Kenna started shooting with a Fuji X-T5 and started printing digitally, he'd sell them. Okay, he'll never do that because that's not his thing, and he said so. Like he just doesn't want to do digital, and if I were him, I wouldn't either, right? Because he loves the darkroom. And he loves using film. He's found his place, you know, and he's happy, and that's one of the secrets to his success, actually. But the thing is that the key to being a famous photographer is not the work you produce. I mean, it has to be of a certain quality and a certain level, but the key to being a famous photographer is to be famous. All right. So it's the name associated with the work that sells the work. Okay, that's the real takeaway here. And from that standpoint, at this level up the ladder, gear doesn't matter. All right, film doesn't matter, digital doesn't matter. It does matter that the output is archival, because that's the kind of the galleries are going to want that, and the museums are going to want that. The key to being a famous photographer is to be a famous photographer. And doesn't YouTube prove that? How many YouTube photographers have 500,000 subscribers? And when you see their photography in their videos, it's mediocre at best, but they have the gift of the gab and good video skills. So, YouTube makes you a celebrity. You have name recognition. Now people will buy your work. Is the work really that good? Doesn't have to be. You have the celebrity. So, which is great, right? My point is the key. In the art world, it's not a merit-based system. Your work has to be competent. It has to be archival. But there are people you've never heard of who are doing much better work than the famous people. And I'm not implying me or whatever. That's not my, that's not the thing. I do the best work I can. If people like it, they like it. But that's the real answer. Okay, is film isn't really better than digital. Digital really isn't better than film. That really doesn't matter. Whichever medium you're using, do the best you can with it, and make interesting work. And if you can become famous, your work will sell. But the selling of the work is not based on the quality of the work. I mean, who's that clown from Australia who puts the clouds behind the moon? Peter Lick. I mean, he's laughing all the way to the bank, but all the other photographers are laughing at him. So I don't know, I'd rather be Michael Kenna and have some respect, right? So, and another thing, and knock on wood and prayers for Michael, but he doesn't have to worry about it, because the other trick is to get your work recognized is to be dead. So evidently dead photographers have more of an edge of selling their work, because people discover it, and then, I guess it's because the people who have the power to make it famous can make the money off of it, and they don't have to give it to the photographer because they're dead. So I don't know what I'm talking about there, but anyway, yeah. As you can tell, I'm still processing a lot of this, but I really enjoyed Michael's show, and I really enjoyed going to Portland. It wasn't too bad. We were in a nicer neighborhood. It's not what it used to be when I used to live there 25 years ago, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And it really has modified my way of thinking about a lot of things. And to a certain extent, Michael Kenna has allowed me to justify the use of digital equipment and digital prints. So moving forward, what am I going to do? I'm going to do both, right? I mean, digital has its advantages. There are things I can do with digital I can't do with black and white, like color, for instance. I have no interest in color film. Okay, for me, the key is the black and white print in the darkroom. That's what I enjoy the most about black and white and about film photography. But digital, there's things I can do with digital I can't do with film. And I need to not have that prejudice. If it's a quality print, it's a quality print. It doesn't matter if it's pigment-based or silver-based. And I can do it either way. And so, yeah. So I'm gonna do both, but I've got a newfound respect for digital. And it's really weird that going to a Michael Kenna show would give me a newfound respect for digital. It's really strange. So anyway, it's a journey. It's not a destination in terms of my thinking on all this. And yeah, digital has made me insecure for a long time. But I think going to this Michael Kenna show has really assuaged a lot of that insecurity, which is really odd. Like as you can tell, I'm still processing this. I did not expect. So, hey, if you've watched this far, clearly you should be out taking photographs and not listening to me. Thank you so much. And the Patreon support is off the charts. Fantastic. You can join for free and there's content for you. You can help support my work, which is a blessing, and I'm so thankful. And there's content for free members. There's content for paid members. And wonderful. Link in the description, Patreon. And my book, A Painter Passing Through, is available. It's shipping. And yeah, and if you order now before Christmas, I'll send in a little bonus with it. And link in the description below. That's on my website, edwardmartins.com. It's selling really well, and that's fantastic. And what else? And I think that's it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. But as far as YouTube is concerned, if you think my work is worthy, subscribe, because when I become a famous YouTuber and have 100,000 subscribers, then that makes my work better. Fascinating. What a world we live in, huh? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there. Have a great one. Bye.